Hey everyone, welcome to Software Testing Mentor and RCV Academy. Today I'm here with Atik, and Atik is doing one of the training courses from the institute in Bangalore, and he's done a lot of learning in the manual testing space, Java, and some automation testing with Selenium as well. So today's focus of this interview will be on Java, some part of the Selenium, and the manual testing question. So let's welcome Atik. Hi, Atik. How are you?
Hello, sir. I am good, sir. How are you, sir?
Thank you. Thanks, Atik. Thanks for joining the call. And before
Yes,
we
sir.
proceed further, Atik, I would like to mention that this video is getting recorded and will be
Okay, sir.
posted on YouTube for other viewers to watch. Are you fine with that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, I am fine with it.
Okay, great. All right, Dick, let's get started. And can you mm, quickly maybe tell a little bit about your professional background, about your education background? I know that you're a fresher,
Okay, sir.
so just your education
Okay,
background, project that you have done, something about that. Yeah.
okay, sir. First of all, sir, thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to offer this mock interview. My name is Atikur Rahman. I have completed BTech in the field of mechanical engineering with overall CGPA of 7.88 from the Institute of Education Research from Bhubaneswar. Well, sir, after doing my graduation, I moved to Bangalore and joined QSpider, which provide with software testing course where I learned core Java, manual testing, and automation testing. After that, sir, I am looking for a job which will enhance my skill practically as I have a theoretical knowledge, sir, and
Mhm.
I am a kind of person who always ready to take new challenges and I'm a quick learner. Coming to my family background, sir, my father is a businessman, my mother is a housewife. I have two elder sisters, and so I am a national football player too. I have represented state, and sir, in college days, sir, I have done one project in portable lathe machine. Lathe machine is nothing but it is the mother of all machine. All the mechanical things which we performed, we indirectly or directly use lathe machine. Lathe machine is a machine with the help of which we can perform various operation by doing various activities like turning, facing, drilling, and sir, many more thing. And there are many more component of lathe machine that I have made in my college days project. This is all from my side. Thank you, sir.
Great, great, great introduction, Atik. Very, very nice. So, all right. I love the thing that you have mentioned about the football. So, just a little bit curious to ask. You have been into the state level football player.
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
brings you
sir.
to the IT? Why not choosing sports as a career?
Sir, actually, in college days, I was into sports much, sir. But after completing my graduation, I thought that first I will go with the job, and
Hmm.
later on I will go with my profession too, sir.
Right. So
And
you are basically, I mean, you still love football, and you
yes,
think
sir,
that you'll be
absolutely,
able
sir.
to go into
Yes,
the
sir.
job, and then at the same time you want to continue playing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. I somehow feel that if you have represented at the state level, um, always keep that option open. Great.
Okay.
And the project that you have mentioned, the BTech project about the lathe machine. So good things around that as well. I know you are from the mechanical background. So another
Yes, sir.
question is um, why IT or why software testing job when you are coming from a mechanical background?
Sir, after this pandemic happened, I realized that this is a new generation, and sir, this is a new market which is going for tech. Every single thing which is happening nowadays is indirectly or directly linked with IT. So,
Hmm.
sir, I thought this is the best place for me to expand my uh, goals and whatever I want to achieve in my life. And
Hmm.
sir, as I am a mechanical graduate, I think that all the machine are nowadays automated from manual, sir.
Hmm.
So I think, sir, I will be more open to learning by learning new things, and I will be continue learning the new skill, which will be definitely I will go with many things. And sir, this is the reason I want to go with IT job, sir. As here it is, we get more opportunities as compared to mechanical field, sir.
Right. Okay. So Partially, yeah, I do agree that you have more opportunities, but that doesn't mean that you don't have opportunities in mechanical. And I
Yes,
do
sir.
agree that you have interest in the IT. Um, so here you can modify your answer a little bit to show your passion around both the things because you have done mechanical, right? And now, as you
Yes,
truly mentioned, that IT is everywhere, right? So
yes, sir.
that brings you to that particular tech field or the software field, because even in the mechanical, things are being now moving very fast towards the software field. So your knowledge of mechanical along with that, if IT gets combined, that will be a true enhance enhancer for the overall learning that you have done in the mechanical, as well
Yes,
as
sir.
it's something which will add more sort of value and it interests you a lot. Okay, something around
Okay,
that.
sir.
So rather than showing that you just are moving in a field because of more career opportunities, it's you have to combine, or it's good to combine that. Yes, it's something which you truly want to do, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so is it fine? You getting it?
Yes, sir.
what
Yes,
what,
sir.
what I'm trying to
Okay.
say? Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. All right,
Okay, sir.
let's move to the Java basics. Okay, so
Okay,
because
sir.
you have mentioned a lot of things around Java, and you mentioned that you have good knowledge on methods. So what exactly are methods? Any programming language?
Some
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Some method are nothing but we go for method whenever we have to perform a various task or various action. In a class, we can have n number of method.
Hmm.
As a programmer, it's our duty to invoke a method, and method have a body, a method have signature, and there are various type of method like no argument, yes return type, yes argument, no return type, yes argument, yes return type, no argument, yes return type. There are four types of method, and so method have a syntax like it has access specifier, non-access specifier, then
Hmm.
return type, then name of the method, and after that we will go with parameterized or non-parameterized methods.
Okay. So what is the difference between parameterized and non-parameterized? Can you elaborate a
So
little bit?
yes, sir. So parameterized constructor, parameterized method is nothing but when we are declaring a method or when we are providing a method
Hmm.
inside, when we name the method in braces, sir, we give a parameters, sir. Like we mentioned data types,
Hmm.
data types like primitive data type, and
Hmm.
non-parameterized we don't mention anything. And when we call the method, there we have to mention if we have a parameterized constructor, we have to pass the value, sir. In non-parameterized constructor, we don't have to pass the value when we are calling the methods.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Um, so you mentioned that you have you basically within the parenthesis you use the data type and you declare the data type. So if there are data types declared within the parenthesis, whatever the method name and parenthesis, then those are parameterized methods. And if you
Yes,
don't
sir.
specify anything, then they are not, right?
Non-parameterized.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between parameters and arguments?
Parameterized and argument. So
Yes.
both are same, sir. The different terminologies, sir, we used.
Okay. Both are not same. I mean, there is a difference. There is a minor difference. So
Okay, sir.
so basically, when you define a method, okay, so say for example, method addition, and then within parentheses you say int a comma int b or a comma b, whatever. I'm not specific to any language at the moment. So
Okay, sir.
this a and b are the parameters. When you call, the method, you specify the actual values. So add
Oh,
addition, and then you pass the actual values 5 comma
okay.
6, then that's the argument. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But yeah, but your knowledge of method, good. You have read, at least I can say that you have read the theoretical part. You understand that. We are not going into too much detail of the programming. Maybe you can set up another um, interview wherein I can show you the code, and then we can have another round of that, because I
Okay, sir.
see that you have learned some good concepts there. Okay, let's move on. You talked about a constructor as well in between. I mean, I think that was
Just sir, I
just
was
confused.
confused a little
Yes.
bit. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, sir.
So on that same note, what is constructor?
So constructor are the special member of class. Sir, when we are creating an object, we call the constructor. Constructor cannot be inherited. There are some rules for constructor to be declared. The constructor name should be same as the class name.
Mhm,
Constructor contain any access specifier. Constructor cannot be given a static, final, or abstract. There are two
mhm,
types of constructor: default constructor, user defined constructor. Default
mhm,
constructor is nothing but it is implicit constructor in which we don't have any executable code, and whenever we create an object we will go with default constructor. And user defined constructor are of two type. One is parameterized, the another one is non parameterized. The parameterized are nothing but when we call the constructor we have to give the parameters, sir. And non
mhm,
parameterized are nothing but when we call the constructor we will not mention any parameters, sir. This
mhm.
is non parameterized constructor, sir.
Okay. So when we say default constructor, so
Okay, sir.
every class will
Every class
definitely
should have a it
it
definitely have
has
a
it.
default constructor.
Is
Yes,
that true?
yes, sir. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. All right. And you mentioned about no argument constructor and parameterized constructor, right?
Okay, sir. Yes.
So when we say parameterized constructor, then how will you say, for example, I have a class with the
Yes.
name addition, okay? And I ask you to define a parameterized constructor for this particular class.
So there are some set of rules for
Mhm.
parameterized constructor.
So for
Sir,
this
the
addition, so the class name is addition, okay?
okay, sir.
So what will be the constructor? I'll say have a constructor with two parameters. So how will you
Okay, sir.
define that constructor for that class?
Sir, like I have already mentioned, the class name and the constructor name will be same.
Hmm.
So, for example, you have said that class name will be
Addition.
addition. The
Yeah.
constructor name will also be addition,
Hmm.
and there are the number of arguments should be differ.
Hmm.
Types of argument should be differ, or the
Hmm.
position of argument should be differ. Like you are telling, sir, there are two things inside a constructor, like int a, int b.
Hmm.
So, like it, if we have int a, then we go for string. And if in second addition we will go first for string then for int, or
Hmm.
the number of it will be different, like two int one string, like these
Right.
are the
Right.
yes.
Great. 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 All right. Nice. Yeah. So if you know the rules, then obviously you will be able to, when you are defining the parameterized constructor, you will be able to define them. Okay. Now I'll take a little bit of, maybe a bit of practical. I want to understand some practical usage of inheritance. So first thing, theoretically, can you explain what is inheritance? Okay, in any programming language, and then we'll continue the discussion on that.
Okay, sir. So inheritance is nothing but whenever one class is trying to obtain a properties from another class, it is known as inheritance. In inheritance we have one super class and one subclass. The superclass is not, which is giving the property, and the subclass is which is acquiring the properties. There
Hmm.
are five type of inheritance: single level, multi-level, hierarchical, and third one more is there, and there is multiple, which is not achievable using class in Java. For that
Hmm.
we have to use interface.
Yeah.
And multi-level is multiple is not achievable because of ambiguity and death of diamond problems.
Yes. Yes. Okay. A lot of details around that. So, practically, say for example, why do we need inheritance, or what's the advantage of having
So
inheritance?
the code reusability is there and
Mhm.
code optimization is there, sir. For
Can you give
example,
me an
sir,
example? Yeah.
sir, if you are taking an application, sir, like suppose we are taking phone pay application.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier application was just used for transaction of money. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
for example, the parent class is like phone pay. Okay, sir,
Mm-hmm.
there I have given like transfer the money or with the help of number, phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Then after, sir, after I we got second release, and there we got like you can transfer the money as well, you can recharge the bill. So sir, it is not affecting the first class. Yeah, and with the help of second we can acquire the properties of first as well as second, and after that we can go for shopping, like many things, check balance, you can transaction money with the help of UPI. So for third release we are acquiring the first as well as second class, and simultaneously we can access the third class. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the example of inheritance.
Right.
One
Yes.
class is acquiring the property of another class without any stoppage, sir.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
good example there. So code reusability, as you mentioned, right? So it's
Yes,
basically
yes,
it reduces the overall complexity, and it makes your code reusable. Say, for example, like calculator application, right? So once
yes,
you
sir, I
define
know.
the method,
Yes,
then reuse them wherever you want. Okay.
yes,
So take some, like simple examples, and then from the simple examples, move to the other. So try to think in the practical way, in the actual, day-to-day
yes,
life. Try to correlate these concepts, and your answer is absolutely correct. No issues with that, right? So it's basically you can reuse, you inherit the property, you inherit the methods, and then you reuse the whole code. Especially when you go to the framework section of Selenium, you will
yes, sir.
you will be able to explain the whole usage of inheritance and polymorphism there. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
great. All right. So let's talk about a little bit about encapsulation. Okay, so what is encapsulation?
Sir, sir, encapsulation is nothing but hiding, wrapping the data member and function member into a single unit is known
Mhm,
as encapsulation, sir.
mhm,
Encapsulation can be achieved by declaring the data member as private. The second thing we can also achieve with the help of setter method and
mhm,
the getter method. Setter method is nothing but it is used to set the value. It will not have any return type except void. Getter
mhm.
method is nothing but it is used to fetch the value, and it will have a return type except void. So,
Right. So you mentioned return type. So correct. In
yes,
encapsulation point of view, you are correct. So wrapping, as the name suggests, right? Capsule, in capsule. So like
yes,
within the
sir.
capsule, you don't know what medicine is inside. It's
Yes, sir.
given to you as a cure of something, right? So you don't know what's inside. Similar is the true thing for any programming language. And if the consumer doesn't need to know what they are not requiring to know, then you just hide that detail from the
Oh,
consumer. Now, you mentioned about the return type. So what is return type?
sir, return type is mandatory for any method, sir. Like for example, it is like we are giving primitive data type inside a
Mm-hmm,
method, like
mm-hmm,
public static int and method name with
mm-hmm,
parameter or without parameter. Then
mm-hmm,
when we are going for code, like inside the curly braces,
mm-hmm,
after we have print the SOPLN statement or anything, then
mm-hmm,
at the last, before closing the curly braces, we have to give the return type, and the return type should be same as int. For example, we have given int, sir, so we
mm-hmm,
have to pass the value 10. And if we have given the return type as string, then we have to pass any value inside double quote as it is string.
mm-hmm,
And if we have given double, we have to pass it like in decimal value, sir.
mm-hmm.
This is a return type, sir.
So
So
basically,
basically it should be same, sir, it cannot be changed, sir.
so
And
whatever
if it
return
will,
type you are specifying,
yes, sir.
the method has to basically return that particular value. So practically, like, yes, you explained all the things correctly, but why, like, practically, have you explored the options around implementing some methods and then returning the values and how you can use it?
Sir, actually, I have tried various all the primitive data types in
Mm-hmm,
methods, sir,
mm-hmm,
and I have gone through. And whenever I try to change the value, sir, for example, I have given int, and in return type I am changing the value. It will
mm-hmm,
throwing a compile time error. But sir, in method signature, sir, we can
Mm-hmm.
change the value. Like if we have given the int
Mm-hmm.
in method signature, in parameterize, we can pass the value as double string, no
Mm-hmm.
matter, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to make sure whenever we are calling the method, we have to pass the same value inside what we have mentioned in the parameter, sir. Example, sir, if we have mentioned double value in the parameter while
Mm-hmm.
calling the method, like a method name can anything,
Mm-hmm.
like you have mentioned addition. So
Mm-hmm.
we are calling the method addition, but inside it we have to pass the value in decimal format as we have given the double.
Right. Yeah. Good. And when there is no return type, what did you mention about that?
So when we don't have a return type, we cannot print the what when we have don't a return type, like it is void, we
Mm-hmm.
don't need to give any return type. And sir, when we are calling the method, sir, it cannot be given inside a SOPLN statement because it will throw a compile time error. Basically void cannot be printed inside a system.out.println statement, sir.
Um, can you can you give a little bit more detail? Like void cannot be.
So void will not have any return type. Like for
Yeah.
example,
So if there is no
like
return
what?
type, then like you just say void
So
and
we
then the.
can give a return type. We can give return type. It will not throw any errors, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But as we are a programmer, sir, we have to see for the code, sir, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to go for code optimization. So less line of code. So it
Right.
is not good for us to give a return type as it is
Mm.
not mandatory, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's move to some of the Selenium basics. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
good answers there in the Java space. I think I would just on that part, I would just say keep practicing, like keep writing a lot of code, and
Yes,
that
sir.
that will build your programming skills even better. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Um, let's move on to the next question. So, what do you understand by automation testing?
So whenever automation testing is nothing but when we perform any manual testing using automation tool is known as automation testing. We go for automation testing, sir, whenever we have to perform multiple tasks or multiple releases there or any repetitive tasks need to be performed, then we go for automation testing. And there are some process of automation testing, sir. Like
Mhm.
in first release, there is no concept of automation testing because all the features are new. But in the second release, as soon as we get the requirement, and after getting the requirements, so manual team will understand the requirement and we will start analyzing the impact area, and
Mhm.
we will create a regression test suite and hand it over to the automation test engineer.
Mhm.
From now on, automation test engineer will be busy on writing test script. Simultaneously, manual team and development team will be busy on working the new feature. As
Mhm.
soon as the new features is stable, automation team will implement the script in new application. And after implementing, sir, as it is an application, there may be some pass status or field status. The pass status is as it is, and the field status need to be re-verified by the manual test engineer. And
Mhm.
sir, manual test engineer will re-verify it, and after re-verifying if there is any bug, he will send it to the developer. Developer will fix it and give it back it to the us, sir. And as a manual test engineer, we will retest the bug, and sir, along with it, we will also go with impact analysis, impact area, sir. But
Mhm.
automation test engineer will rerun the script, and sir, it he will also run all the existing script because there may be some impact area, sir. This is the process of automation testing or regression testing, and this process will continue on until the application becomes stable or bug free, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned bug free. Are
Yes,
there
sir.
applications that are bug free? I mean, can you claim the
No, sir.
application is bug
Absolute,
free?
sir. Idle is not possible. 100% bug free is not possible, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you explained in the automation testing question, you explained about the automation testing and then also some of the processes that usual team will follow when the defect arises.
Yes, sir.
And you also mentioned that automation testing starts after first release.
Yes, sir.
So is that always the case, or it can start even earlier than the first release?
Sir, actually, there are two concepts, sir. Build level regression testing and release level regression testing. In build level regression testing, we can start with the first release, but the build level regression testing will always start with second build, sir. Like first build is given by the developer, we will test it, and
Mhm,
for second, we will go for the build level regression testing. And sir, in build level regression testing, uh, after testing we may find some bug, and that bug may have some impact areas, sir. So
mhm,
checking for that impact area is a duty for uh, test engineer, because he is the one who has a good product knowledge. But in the release level, customer will also help us to identify the impact area based on the
mhm,
product knowledge,
mhm,
as well as developer will also help us based on the code knowledge. And so test engineer is the most important because he has the product knowledge. So sir, in release level we can have more impact area, because all the three team are working simultaneously, and we will get more impact and like impact area covered. So sir, here sir, customer is also helping, because initially in first release he don't have an application, but in
mhm,
second release he has already used the application, so he has some idea. And as he has some idea and he has given for any updation, so he has used the application.
mhm.
So by this he can help in the second release as well, sir.
Right. Yeah. So I think here there is no right and wrong answer when can automation testing start. But ideally,
Okay.
um, when we say automation testing, do not never confuse with just the UI or Selenium part of it. Automation testing is any script or any simple manual task that automate. It doesn't matter whether you are writing a shell script, you are writing a PowerShell, or you are writing batch script, or whatever it is. It's automation in
Okay.
in the project. It can start as early as on second day or third day of development. It depends who is. So there is no right and wrong, but when we talk about the regression suite automation, that is more of like when things start getting stabilized. And ideally when it comes to UI automation, then UI needs to be really stable. Otherwise, when you write your, say for example, Selenium test, and next build, they have changed the button here and there, and they have actually changed some of the IDs or names of the locators, then your script, you will keep just fixing your scripts, and that's not good value, right? So
Okay, sir.
your I mean, there is no right and wrong as such. When somebody asks, just I wanted to mention that uh, whatever you have mentioned, it very context dependent. Some projects
Okay, sir.
might start very early, some projects might start late. And mostly in the industry, when we say, like, what thought it comes to your mind when we say automation testing? Like, do you do you think, I mean, what all tools and technologies do you think when we say automation testing in a project?
So we go for automation testing, sir, whenever we have a new test cases, or whenever there is any human involvement, like
Hmm.
a captcha, OTP, or whenever we have a complexity of a code or very complex application or repeated tasks need to be performed, then we go for automation, sir.
So
This
basically,
is,
like, what tools do you think
sir, there
in
are,
software testing you would be using to?
so there are various tools, but
Yeah.
mainly used are Selenium,
Hmm.
QTP, Runner,
Hmm.
and sir, I am familiar with the Selenium, sir,
Hmm.
and I am
Okay.
trying to learn Selenium, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir.
So here, that's what my suggestion to most of the candidates is. Like, few things are highly overrated in industry. So like Selenium is one of that. It is so highly used. I mean, I don't criticize it as such, but it's a UI automation tool. Okay. And
Okay, sir.
just and many people think that UI automation tool Selenium will fix all the problems in the project. It's not like that. So the automation can start from writing a simple Python, Python script, or simple, like a simple Java code, or just within the Excel sheet, you can write a macro to do some, because when you are part of the testing industry or testing team, there will be lots and lots of data, especially if you're in banking domain or any telecom and those sort of domains, that you need to manipulate to fetch the data that you need. And if you keep doing it manually, it's lots and lots of effort. So
Yes, sir.
anything that expedites your any script or any macro, anything that expedites your work is the automation. Okay. And as you truly mentioned, like it's you when you use tool to reduce the manual effort, that's automation. And Selenium is not the only tool that you use in the
Yes, sir.
project. Okay.
So,
So
okay, sir.
just to clarify that. But overall, your answer is correct. I'm not saying that your
Okay,
answer is not correct. Okay.
okay, sir.
All right. So let's move on to the next one now. Selenium, I know it's very widely used. I have been using it for more than 10 years. So I totally love it. So let's start
Okay,
with
sir.
Selenium WebDriver. What is Selenium WebDriver basically? Like just two lines.
Sir, Selenium WebDriver is nothing but it is a flavor of or component of the Selenium, sir. It is introduced in the year 2008. It is supports various operating system, various programming language, and various browsers, sir. It
Mhm,
is used because it is faster. It support parallel testing, sir.
mhm,
And sir, with the with it, as I have mentioned, it supports various programming languages, various platform can be used, sir. So these are the main advantages of Selenium WebDriver. Along with the previously they have introduced the Selenium RC
mhm.
and Selenium IDE. They too have good, sir, but they are Selenium RC is, sir, slow. The architecture is very complex, sir. And sir, Selenium ID doesn't support something, sir, like looping statement is not allowed in Selenium ID, sir.
Mhm.
So all that, sir, drawback are covered in Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium WebDriver is a, sir, overall it is a hit version, and Selenium got known to the people due to this, sir.
Right. Yes.
Selenium WebDrivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of disadvantages in RC, and yes, now Selenium
Yes, sir.
4 is out. So go ahead and read about Selenium 4 architecture as well. I'll be posting a new video. There have been changes and good changes in Selenium 4 in terms
Okay,
of
sir.
architecture. So read a little bit about that as well. Um,
Sure, sir.
Always mention that Selenium is a UI automation tool, right? So it only automates browser. That's the first and foremost thing. You can automate other like desktop and things with some of the utils and or the libraries that you have to add. You have to rely on external libraries, but by default Selenium is a UI automation tool.
UI too.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right, so what is the difference between find elements and find element in Selenium?
So find element is used to identify single web element using locator, whereas find elements used to identify group of web element using locator. Using locator, so find element will have a return type, reference of web element interface,
Hmm.
whereas find elements will have a return type list of web element. If find element will not in find element, if a find element is not identified, it will throw an error, no
Hmm.
such element found exception. And
Hmm.
in find elements it will throw an error, it will not throw an error, it will throw an empty list.
Right. Yes. Great. And are you practicing like different combinations, find elements? Have you gone through my Selenium with Java training? Like that's available on YouTube. It's
Sir, till now I haven't seen that video, sir, but afterward I will definitely
yeah,
go with
yeah.
it.
So there is a complete series with Selenium with Python, which has everything like uh, framework and Git and Jenkins. So
Yes, sir.
Jenkins will be coming very soon. And then Selenium with Java framework section will be coming very soon. So it's a complete course which will help you to, like build a lot of skills there. But yeah, good answer. Like you mentioned that elements will return a list, empty list if it's not able to find any of the web element. Great. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for today. I think any questions before I proceed to the feedback?
No, sir, absolutely. I don't have any questions, sir, but I want to thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity, sir. As many of us are studying various things, various courses we are doing, and we think that we have a knowledge, but in practical, when we face interview, we get blunt and we are not able to answer anything. As you are helping us to answer how to answer in an interview, how to face an interview, how to get how to give an answer in practical way with some example and not. So that is my thank to you, sir. Because of you, sir, I am and am able to give an answer, and I am able to see what are the thing I should work on, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Atik. I think I truly love what I'm doing. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, I mean,
And especially your work are helping us, sir, very much, sir. I am going your videos, and after completing my courses and after learning anything, I will go to your video and see what are the question and how should I answer, sir. So definitely you are helping us as a fresher, sir, very much.
thanks, Atik. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So to the feedback, I think let's start with the resume. So resume needs some work. Okay. Um,
Okay, sir.
I have posted a video on how to create your resume. So
Okay, sir.
just maybe search on the channel. You will get a resume. There is a template as well. Your template is okay, like the resume template is okay, but then you have good knowledge that you have um, mentioned in this whole conversation. I can see that you can put a lot of things on your resume, but you have put very little things that
Sir,
you actually know.
act- actually, sir, when I have applied for this your mock interview,
Mhm.
that time I have not gone through many of the things, sir. Like I have been working on it, and after when I get a call from you, sir, at
Mhm.
that time I thought that I should have mentioned more points, sir.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is the
Okay.
main reason.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So
sir.
just go through that, like video. It's like 10 minutes video. It will help you to see what sections, what things you need to mention on the first page of the resume, what things you need to mention on the second page, and then you will also get some of the key points that you need to mention, right? So resume is the
Okay,
first
sir.
interface that will get you calls. Okay. So if your
Okay, sir.
resume is good, then there are high chances that you will be shortlisted and you will get the call. Okay, so that's the first thing. Moving to the second point, which is basically your overall conversation that has happened. So absolutely fantastic.
Thanks,
I
sir.
see that you have theoretically you are really good. Okay, in terms of things that you have read, and even if I try to drill down a little bit into the details of the answers that you have given, at the fresher level, I would say you are really, good. Okay, so you are
Thanks a
prepared
lot, sir.
in terms of automation concepts. We haven't gone through the manual concepts today, but I think you would be equally good in the manual testing space because you have learned good automation testing. So keep learning whatever you are doing at the moment, the way you are learning. Practice more, like programming, Selenium. You will be able to learn a lot only if you keep practicing a lot. Okay. So
Okay,
do
sir.
never think that I know a lot, I have learned a lot. Okay. So like I learn mostly every day. I mean, I never call myself an expert because I know that I won't be able to become an expert till end of my life. So
Yes, sir.
um, the moment you think that you are an expert, you stop learning. So keep learning because every day you will learn something new. So apart from that, your communication skills are absolutely fantastic. Okay, your confidence is really good. So I don't see that you won't be getting job very soon, right? So
Yes, sir.
like many of the candidates that I have interviewed, most of them are already in jobs. And there was a lady that I interviewed just like 3 weeks ago, and she was like at the same level that you are, and she already got job, and that too not in
Yes, sir.
Bangalore, some other tier two city. So
Yes, sir.
so it's absolutely like the confidence that you have, the way you communicate, you will be absolutely fine. And the thing that you get mentioned about the mechanical background,
Yes,
that's
sir.
absolutely that is no reason that you won't be being getting the call from IT, or you won't be, because IT is for everyone. It doesn't matter which background
Yes,
you
sir.
are from, you will be able to get into. Okay, so that's pretty much
Okay,
it.
sir.
If there are no questions, then thank you very much for joining.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
Okay, sir. Have a cheerful day, sir.